The worst that can happen.
Worst that can happen is
They decline our extra charges and they return our deposits. That's all. I'm just worried about the review she's gonna leave. But I think that if
I think we already accepted that we're getting a bad review.
so, if she leaves a bad review and we respond to it immediately,
do we wait for her to give a bad review and then we respond to the bad review, or do we actually just be proactive and
that's a good question.
write her a bad review so she can respond to that?
Good question.
What's better?
The only concern about that is that we might wait too long and miss the window. Otherwise, I prefer to wait for her because she might not even bother with it.
That's true, but she seems like she. Then again, maybe she's not the kind of person that actually wants to go public or write reviews.
So we don't know. We don't know how far she wants to take it.
Yeah.
She might just pay for
Give
it
up
and
and
get it
move on
over.
to the next
Yeah.
con. So I feel like this has to be a thing that she does.
Right. She sounded very bold. Very bold with it. Regular people don't do stuff like that. Regular people are not that manipulative.
Like if we have not experienced anyone like her.
It's also refreshing to know that people like her are
out there.
They're the minority.
Yeah, they are the minority.
Majority of people are decent. In all our rentals, it's only her and Jesse that have treated their motorhome that badly.
Yeah. But even Jesse, he was just extra messy and gross and he just disrespected the RV, but he didn't actually.
He wasn't malicious.
He wasn't malicious or anything like that.
He didn't try to create this.
I feel like
false.
he was just an arrogant jerk.
Yeah, that's all he was. Yeah.
He disrespected people's property, but he wasn't someone who was actually trying to start problems.
Right. He wasn't.
She was actually trying to start problems from the very beginning.
Jesse was more. Jesse probably behaves like that at home too. He treats everybody he knows the same.
Yeah,
so,
true. For her, she's like really trying to like. It's like she's a low-level con artist.
Yeah. Very weak one too.
Yeah, a weak one because she's not actually doing too much. I feel like she's just trying to be manipulative so she can get a big discount.
Okay. Trying to.
I feel like that's what she's been asking for, and since the very first complaint, and then because I didn't tell her immediately that I was going to give her a discount or a refund on, I don't know, propane or whatever the propane is worth, I felt like she was mad about that, and then she tried to find something else. And since my reaction has always been, oh, I'm sorry that's happening to you, and then I never said anything about you're going to be compensated, you're going to get a discount, we're going to take off some of the charges.
Right.
I never said something like that to her, and I think that made her feel like she had to work harder and try to make up more crap.
Yeah, make it more dramatic.
Make it way more dramatic. Exactly.
I'm glad you did not make any offer of discounts, because that would have been taking responsibility for something we didn't do.
Yeah, I'm ready to take responsibility, but at the same time, I only am if I actually see that, we definitely did that. That's our fault. Because it could have very well been her fault. She could just be breaking stuff, or she could be making things up like what she was doing. But I also don't want to be mad and start getting all offensive and accusing her and all that, because that's just like asking for trouble before nothing even really happens. Right. We don't even know.
Talking about no mask. She was just not fishing at this point.
Was really
she was like reaching. Okay,
we
mask,
saw her clean the RV without a mask.
What the hell? Who? The audacity to even say something like that.
I know. And then tell us that you sanitized the RV after you were done with it with Lysol.
Yeah.
When we go into the RV and it literally looks like the biggest mess we've ever had with any renter.
Yeah. She's something, man. Something.
Like, it was, oh my God. And it blows my mind. Like, how can you say that? The bathroom, it smelled like they just peed all over the place. Like, they missed the
Probably
toilet
did.
every time. And the shower was full of dirt and weird orange and brown stuff, like, all over the place. The sheets had dirt on it and some kind of animal hair. I think it's a dog with white dog hair. And then the seats in the front, the passenger seat especially, was filled with dog hair and like mud.
Mud, yeah.
Actual mud. And there was dog hair all over the countertops. There was dog.
The audacity of her.
I don't even believe. Now I know. Like, I feel like that just confirms like that she's a pathological liar, and she makes up crap to be trying to be manipulative. But
It's crazy. There's
like,
no other way to explain it. Just
there is
insane.
no other way to explain it. So now I know that we're not crazy. Now I know that we didn't make mistakes. I feel like that just confirms it. We definitely didn't do anything wrong, and none of it was whatever she claims is our fault.
Just another low life out there trying to reap where they didn't sow. We can't let that derail our enthusiasm or our zeal. We're on a mission here. But on that mission, no one said it was going to be rosy. No one said it's going to be a straight path. We're going to have ups and downs. We're going to meet mostly good people, good, decent people, but we are still going to meet the lowlifes, the Merediths and the Jessies of this world that just go around sharing negativity.
Yeah.
But what do? You don't let that stop you or let that make you shake your faith. You let that fuel you. You let that even motivate you to achieve even better, to show these people that despite your
everything you tried to do,
your BS, I'm still able to survive. I'm a winner. I keep winning.
Yeah. You know, as soon as you said that, the intro to Destiny's Child, I'm a Survivor, just popped into my head. It's like
for real. It's appropriate.
Yeah, it is appropriate. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it.
You will meet those type of people.
Yeah.
But they are just coal for the flames, fuel for the fire, gas for the rocket. Just ride it. Ride it straight to the moon.
Yeah. To the moon. Your crypto jargon.
Just ride it, man. They see me rolling. They hating. Patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.
You're riding dirty.
Exactly.
You're riding dirty. You're riding dirty.
That's the jam right there.
Yeah. Meredith sees us rolling in the Tesla. She hates it.
She was hating it.
She was.
You rubbed her the wrong way. She was like, I'm coming for this bitch. She thinks she could come over here and be all uppity with me. All right. You want to think you could roll up here to Tesla and own an RV that you rent? All right, I'm going to show you a lesson.
All right.
She was coming for
you think you can just take my money and let me pay for your Tesla? Yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to take away your Tesla payment this month. Little did she know.
She stepped on a cobra.
Yeah, exactly.
Get bit. That's what happens when you step on a cobra. Yeah, we're made of tough stuff. They don't know what they're messing with the wrong
The world
ones.
isn't even out. It's not ready. Meredith has no idea what we can do. It's so funny that Trump wants to ban. He's just mad.
He's reaching for everything.
Like, did you know there was, like, last month, there were a bunch of kids from, like, kids on TikTok and, like, the K-pop forums and all that, and they banded together and they spread the word, and they were like, everybody buy or reserve your space at the Trump rally that's happening on, I think it's Juneteenth, and then just don't go. And a bunch of kids. These are kids who can't even vote yet. These are kids in high school. Like, not even kids who are able, they're not 18 or higher. These kids are that smart. These are the kids of our future, and I'm proud.
That's
actually. Like,
so
I feel like it's gonna be okay. So a bunch of kids all over the country mobilize and organize, like, you know how Killer Mike always says, but like, they all banded together. They would put up posts in their TikToks saying, you know, reserve your spot at this Trump rally coming up, and then don't go. We passed it on, and oh my God! So tickets were like sold out for this. It was supposed to be packed with, I forgot how many people. I think they said 19,000 or something like that. It was like a really large number. It was supposed to be packed. Okay. And so I guess Trump probably fed his ego. He thought, like, wow, I sold out. Everyone's coming. It's going to be huge. That's what he's thinking, right? So he shows up. Imagine you show up to your rally and you see that only about a quarter of the people, like the actual Trump supporters that did reserve their space, a quarter of the people are there. The rest of the entire stadium is empty.
It actually worked.
Most of the people who bought tickets were a bunch of kids. And they realized, because the kids took credit for it. And so Trump was like, wow, TikTok's getting out of hand. I'm going to try to ban TikTok. About. But he's blaming it on China because it's a Chinese company.
Wow. So
but that's literally why. There's no other real explanation. It hurt his feelings, and now he's mad. So he wants to like come after all the kids and take away their TikTok.
That's cute.
Guess what? Take away TikTok. There's gonna be a whole new other social media platform that all the kids are going to communicate on. So sure, take out TikTok. There's gonna be another one. Like literally the next day. So, I mean, these social media platforms pop up so quickly.
There's one already waiting online right now.
Oh, really?
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
There's social networks out there just waiting.
I'm sure there are a lot that are just
the moment
waiting
TikTok
to
gets
pick
banned,
up. So
boom,
the moment TikTok,
that sign up rate goes skyrockets.
And I bet it's gonna be just like TikTok too. I bet they're already. I bet a bunch of companies right now are actually working on that.
Yeah, we're still waiting. They're like, all right, go ahead.
Yes, we'll ban TikTok.
Ban TikTok. We'll show you something. We'll show you that you can't stop the internet.
Find another underground platform where kids can start posting things like this, and it's gonna get huge.
And a wild thing is gonna be on the blockchain, so it can't even ban it.
Yeah.
Can't shut it down. It's decentralized. The future is gonna be really strange.
Yeah.
Exciting.
It is exciting. It's cool to see I'm impressed actually, and it seems so obvious, but no one's done that.
Most kids haven't had time for a long time, you know? Mm-hmm. It was us. We could have done it, but we were wasting our time.
Busy
trying to survive. No, we're wasting time in school.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many classes that I was just taking that was just bullshit that I shouldn't have been taking.
And you know what? Even now, like, if those kids are taking those classes that they hate, guess what they're doing? They're getting onto Fiverr or essaypro.com, and they're paying some other kid $10 to write their essays for school, so they don't have to do it. I mean, and it's actually, in a way, it's probably going to turn into everyone just does the work that they want to do, and if you don't want to do it, you pay someone else. Pretty soon, everyone's going to be able to just do what they want to do and get paid. It's starting to happen right now.
Yeah. The gig economy is taking over. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
All this those middlemen, the universities and the certification boards that feel like they need you need to go through them in order to be qualified to do the job. Their roles are going to be completely diminished, if probably not even removed
I mean,
completely.
school
Because
is
when you
going-
have a
is-
situation
yeah.
where you can literally learn something off of YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and you have the skill to make money, there's absolutely no reason for you
There's
to be
no
paying
reason for
thousands of
you to-
dollars to
yeah,
the middleman.
That's
The middlemen
true.
they're getting rid of. We're getting rid of
So
it.
there, we had to finally, you had to. Because I mean, school, in any way you can. I mean, you can learn anything anywhere. Anything you want to learn, you can learn it. The only reason why we need school is because to get certain jobs, you have to have certain pieces of paper.
That was the lie they sold us.
Exactly.
But
So
not anymore.
there's room for some other standardization to show that someone knows a skill because they took these classes for free online or they watched these videos.
Now the market decides, not any third party or centralized piece of government body. The market decides. If you claim to be a graphic designer, get out there, put out your work.
And then we have reviews to let all the other customers know if you actually
Everybody
can do
know
what
if
you
you
say you can do.
exactly.
That's true, actually.
It doesn't
But
matter
how
what
would
you're
that
doing.
play out with like physicians, like working on someone's body? Because I don't
Okay,
know if you
so-
can really live on reviews. I think you do actually need to at
Okay,
least show
so-
everyone you learned science, you learned medicine.
You know, I haven't thought that far, but what I would imagine is
Yeah.
a situation
There
where
has to be something,
there's
a way to.
if at the least a decentralized voting pool of people in the same field that are experts or that have floated to the top of this field in terms of acknowledgements and achievements. There will be
so
people who
if
float
someone
to the
who
top.
is at the top can recommend,
Yes, it will be a
People-
voting pool, and then they decide collectively.
who is ready
Who-
to actually
to assume
start
leadership.
practicing medicine.
In other words, leadership will be decentralized. It's strange, but it's gonna be like
Okay.
everybody gets to choose their own leader, or they can nominate themselves to be leader.
Yeah.
This world is
Yeah.
so far ahead. This world we're imagining is so far
It
ahead.
is.
I don't know how long it would take in terms of human years to get to that point, but I see it.
No, I think it's gonna happen fast because we're moving really fast. We're changing so quickly. I mean, things that we know now, I don't know if we would have thought that, or like, I don't even know if this was conceivable like 10 years ago.
a lot of nobody knew that YouTube was gonna get as big as what. I thought it was just some silly website where people post crap. Instagram didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Airbnb, Uber, none of these existed
Yeah,
10 years
yeah.
ago. It's insane how fast we've come. Like, how globalized we've come, for one, and two, how fast technology is growing.
Yeah.
Imagine that 10 years ago, you couldn't even imagine what it would be like to allow a stranger into your car, or to just hop into a stranger's car, any stranger,
Yeah.
and let them take you anywhere. Sometimes you alone.
Exactly.
in the street.
Stranger danger. I mean,
That was the rule.
yeah, that's what it is. And now it's like everyone does it.
We're comfortable. We just automatically.
It's okay as long as you pay them and then there's an app for it.
We've established trust.
Yeah.
How quickly we immediately established trust because we collectively did it. If it was one person,
Yeah, exactly.
then it's not enough. But just because we collectively decided,
Having that third party system establishes trust and we can do it.
so why is
It's
it?
okay.
Why is it so difficult for people to imagine that we can move up to another level where it becomes trustless, where inbuilt into the systems is voting mechanisms that automatically determines or decides if you are credible or not. It's already inbuilt into the system. So when you show up into a situation or into an event, they already analyze and they know whether you are you can
capable
be
or
capable
not.
of
Like, what if
being
they could
there
just
or
like
not.
measure your brain?
And it'll show a signal. It could be like
Yes,
a
he
green
has the
signal
knowledge.
on your forehead or on your clothing, green, red, yellow. Those signals will flash, and it will determine what kind of person you are. It's We're very capable of getting there. You know.
That would take out all the HR guesswork, like hiring and firing of people.
We're talking
Selection,
about
all of
like
that. This is just
exponential steps ahead of that.
like this is like you can literally hire the perfect person for the job and the amount that you want to pay them.
Because it's all market determined. It's decentralized. The amount that they should receive and the
Like measuring what they're capable of and what they're worth.
their abilities is all there. It's very transparent. So there's no need for trust because it's right there. You can see it. You can see if this person, when someone tells you I'm a mechanic and they show up, you can tell if they're lying or not.
Yes.
You know, right? It'll be like a green, ding, 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 green. You know, yeah,
Like,
he can actually
you can't
fix
even-
cars.
Or like you don't even have to go there to see if someone's lying or not. You can just like their capabilities are just right there and it's fully transparent. You know what someone's capable of right now.
Precisely. Now, this is not a permanent indicator. It's dynamic, meaning that the more good that person does, the more green or the more credible they are. And the more bad that they do, the less credible they are.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a dynamic system that reflects growth or deterioration of an individual. It's a live updates.
Like updates on a person.
Yeah. Because I think we're walking computers. Just as you can download an entire dog. Everything about this dog can be downloaded into software, stored in the cloud, and this dog can be recreated from the tip of its hair down to the nail on its toe, on its claws. It can be recreated virtually. Did you know that? Do you know we can collect all the data from a living being? Like the skin texture, the measurements. The measurements is the easy part. But we're talking about like down to the DNA and to the cellular structure. All that can be extracted into software, saved, and if we need at any point, we can recall it and recreate it. Maybe not physically, but virtually. And you can see a virtual image of that same dog with every detail in it.
Like you're saying every detail, every physical detail that dog had and experienced in his body, like at that moment in time.
Yes, capture it.
Like if you can capture this and then you can capture that DNA or that, whatever that is, 2 years later, and then it'll be a little bit different because he's aged.
Right, you can control
and
the time.
He's had other experiences and other things.
You can read the cells and the tissues and mark the time, what it looked like during at a certain time, to a point where you just click the date and the time and the day and the time, and it'll show you exactly what that animal was like at that particular date and time, that moment, including visually what it looked visually what it also looked like, anatomy and physiologically, including the organs and the digestive system and everything, all that detail captured and recreated. Now you start to see how possible it is to live in a different world, in a software world, in a virtual world. It's very possible. We're capable of getting there. I don't think we're very far off.
Really?
We'll be living in a different dimension at that point. Wouldn't even matter if Earth is destroyed or if it goes through any climate change or whatever, because we would have already transcended into a different dimension. Does that make sense? So, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to eat.
Let's go eat. So the comedians on that show were different.
Which show?
The show that we were just watching, Two Dope Queens.
Two Dope Queens with
I think
Jessica Williams and Phoebe Robinson.
Yeah.
Very good actors. Those two are just an all-around
They're really good.
lively individuals.
Yeah, they're perfect for this show that they have.
It's hard
But
not
like
to.
everyone that they have on their show, I think it's cool that they've given like comedians that are different. Like a chance.
Right. It was not one mold. Every comedian was completely
You
different.
literally have a little bit of everyone. So they're very diverse, very inclusive.
It seems so futuristic, coming from what we know growing up.
Yeah. Oh my god. Chuck! Get out! Run, dog. But that's the future. It's like you said last night, how we're all just gonna like slowly become everything.
I said that.
Pretty much.
It's taking so long. It's painstaking. What a painstaking journey.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like we should have arrived here a long time ago.
Yeah, we should have. We should have been more inclusive of everyone and long ago.
What we consider evil has thrived for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it continues to thrive.
People have been legally just allowed to be evil for so long. It's only until recent times where we're finally uncovering the evils that we've accepted as okay.
Why haven't the forces of good
It took this
stuck
long
up?
to really come out.
I don't even know if we can, for a fact, or conclusively say that the forces of good are at play at this time, because we're in a freaking pandemic with rumors.
I think
that
it's
it
forcing.
was. Wait, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
We're in a freaking pandemic that
Right.
with rumors that it could have been manufactured. Okay.
Yeah.
There are people with a vision of eugenics that could be behind this pandemic. There's an economic collapse as a result of it, and the people at the top and the government just don't care. So it makes me wonder: are we really having forces of good at play?
I think it's actually kind of a good thing that this is all happening. The evils are being revealed, and it's pushing the good out. In a way, it's forcing people to see what's actually going on and taking action against it.
The question is, our world has felt like under siege of evil, decade after decade. Where do you want to start? From civil war, there's been war after war after war.
Yeah.
There's colonialism, there's slavery, and these things have been
There's
non-stop.
going to be a lot that has to purge, I guess.
So the question is, are we now seeing a new wave of good pressures of good? Is that what we're seeing now? Have we finally turned the page, or is this just the same, just a different tweak to it, but it's the same evil? Is that what do you make out? What do you make of it?
Well, I think that transparency, I don't even know if I don't think it's new evil that we're suddenly noticing. I don't think things are necessarily getting worse. I think things are just becoming transparent. So, and I think it's like the forces of good, that is what's making it more transparent, and then more people are noticing. So action is starting to build momentum.
What do you mean by transparent?
No one knew, many years ago about what goes on behind, the closed doors in politics. But aren't we becoming more aware?
Okay.
Politicians can hide less.
Right. Technology.
YouTube,
Google.
Things are more transparent. Like information is being spread a lot more. So people are becoming more awakened and just noticing what's actually happening.
So you think that's spreading good?
Yeah, because I think it will. Good will start to build more of a momentum because people will actually realize what evil is afoot right now. And that will inspire or bring out the good and the actual good people. Because right now, there's a lot of good people. There is more good than bad, but many good people don't know what's going on.
But if the internet is just a tool, why wouldn't evil people use it just as much as good people are?
They are, but that's what's getting them caught. The internet and whatnot, pretty much, the internet is what's making everything.
Oh, okay, you're saying that the internet is shedding a light on the evil agents that were able to hide during the analog years.
Yeah.
They were able to hide in plain sight. I watched some video about, we were recently watching some video about how the mafia was able to take over entire cities and the government and the police could not do anything. Similar to what's going on in like Mexico, like how the drug cartel has complete control of certain areas. It used to be like that in the East Coast, and these Italians just pretty much owned everything. They were their own military. But something changed in the 80s or so, or late 70s. I think they have some technology made it easier to spy on them, to tap the phone lines, and also something else changed which made it easier for the police to track them and stay ahead of them. There was a case that the FBI and the New York police were working together, and it finally just dawned on them to crack the code. They were like, wait a minute, if it is that the drug lords are not actually the ones on the streets selling the drugs, and so we are unable to tie the activity to the drug lords, we all know who they are, but the law is unable to convict them. If we could walk over and arrest them, and they will be home by evening. Because there's just no evidence that ties them to those illegal activities.
Right.
So, but during the debate, they figured out something in the law. It was a loophole, which they have a phrase for it. It's actually called the starts with an R, trust law. It's essentially what that law basically means is that if you order somebody, if you delegate powers to someone to commit a crime on your behalf, if an individual commits a crime and they and it's found that they or have ties to a larger entity that's giving them orders to commit those crimes, but because the law is only limited to the person who was caught in the act of committing the crime. Now they found a loophole that states that the party committing the crime, including the delegator of whoever the party is working for, is also liable for the crime. That opened the door and cracked the door wide open for the police department and law enforcement to go in and move in onto these dons, these Italian mafia dons that were actually in charge. And the moment they started to execute arrests, the whole thing just fell apart. The mafia clans and such, they all just fell apart. you know, caved in. And that was the downfall of the mafias in New York, because they ran that place for a while. You know. Anyway, that there's an example of what we're talking about in terms of good versus evil, and why has evil seemed to have thrived for a very long time.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it seems like we're starting to see a ray of sunshine.
It's due to, you're right, technology.
Glimmer of hope. And I think it's the internet that's ushering that age.
Yeah.
That age, that glimpse of utopia. It's possible. But do not be deceived, okay? No power concedes without a fight. If our goal in this universe is to create a better world of peace and harmony and harmonious coexistence, we will have to wage an all-out war with evil agents.
Yeah.
You would have to stand tall and face them. They come in different shapes and sizes and forms. So, there it is. Man, these flies are aggressive.
Why are you watching her? Wow.
It's just poop. It's a natural. We all do it.
Yeah, I know, but why watch?
I watch myself.
Wait, what?
You missed it. I said I watch myself.
You watch yourself poop?
Do you not? You just finally understood what I was talking to you about? Okay. Well, I guess that laughter is an affirmative. Yeah. So if I'm able to watch myself, why can't I watch a kid? Same thing.
Oh my.
I'm just picturing the amazing baked, fried sardine and rice that was so tasty that I was licking the plate. Then I'm witnessing the opposite of it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing all that comparison in my head, just sitting there. That means that I've withdrawn some nutrients. I've sucked some health. I've gotten some health bars.
Got some health bars.
You don't know what health bars are?
Health bars. You got some health bars.
Never played video games before?
Oh, that's what you mean.
Pick up some health packs. Like Super Mario, he gets bigger. Or like when you're playing for Halo, any one of those shooter games, pick up a health pack and get some more life.
It's funny.
That's what it feels like when I witness my poop. I write an entire essay on the journey my food took to arrive at that point, at that particular moment. And I leave with gratitude.
A new health bar.
For the new health bar that I got. I'm telling you gotta appreciate it's the little things.
Right.
It's a privilege to be here, to eat, sleep, get up, do it again, enjoy this world.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, privilege, you know what I mean? One which we must be grateful for. Someone wants to take the RV out to Utah.
Nope.
Dang. These guys are brave. I don't know who would rent their RV to you to do that, but good luck.
Jeez. I wonder, are there RVers, on Outdoorsy or RV Share,
Huh?
who, allow that?
Probably, I don't know. I would imagine so, but that's why they come back. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But you'd expect someone
But
to
I'm thinking, do other people think the same as us? I don't want the RV going on long trips. Or are other people no, yeah, they're paying for it, so it's okay.
If it's just me, like couples like us, and it's just that one baby that they're paying a hefty car note on. Of course, they're gonna care. But if it's a company like, what is that other these regular rental companies that we see running around?
Yeah.
If it's one of those guys, they don't care. I think the miles are unlimited actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, you take the RV wherever you want. So. Yeah, if you have a fleet of them, it wouldn't matter. It's all business expense. You're at that point, you're $1 million company.
Like Cruise America?
Yeah, exactly like Cruise America. Those guys, they're too big to worry about a single unit. But we care about our unit.
Because that's all we have.
Because that's all we've got. Okay. Anyone who wants to rent it from us better be ready to take care of it.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like we should get another one.
We'll see how the rest of the year goes.
Okay.
If it keeps going like this to the end
we
of
could just do the same thing with like 6,000 down, and then it's like $500 payments after that. It's not that bad because the RV really does pay for itself.
Yep. Let's see how if it keeps going like this to the end of the year, then for sure I'll be considering getting another unit on the job, recruiting another soldier. Put him to work.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's see how it goes to the end of the year. So far, so good.
I don't know about you.
And take a nap. We spend more time indoor, living vicariously through others. It's a weird habit of human beings.
Yeah.
We stare at TV or we stare at social media. It's like we do everything we can to avoid the moment, to avoid reality.
Yeah.
We always try to escape reality. Meanwhile, other animals, they're in the moment all the time.
Okay. Yeah, she's in the moment. Ah!
I knew it. Yeah, you can almost predict it.
Oh my god. Wow. You really called it. You said, okay, I think it's safe. God. Why do you have to shake next to us?
What was I saying? What was I talking about before I
We were
left?
talking about the dog being in the moment.
Yes. When we walked out here, the dog was just laying down quietly, and it just seemed like it seemed unusual for the animal
Yeah,
to
because
just
there's
be laid out
action.
on
Like
the
we
grass.
just walked out into the backyard. I thought she would have like ran up or did something, but I guess she was just in her moment.
So the point I'm trying to make, she was laying down there quietly, relaxed, and to us it seemed unusual. But I pointed out the fact that animals are always in nature. That's all they know. They don't live like human beings who seem to be constantly trying to escape nature or escape the moment. We spend a lot of time distracted, or we spend a lot of time in front of a TV screen or in front of social media, just in front of a computer or a smartphone, anything that takes us away from being in the moment.
Yeah.
That's the difference between us. An animal has a more connection with nature than
Definitely. Well, she's outside in nature all day.
every day. That's all she knows. If we spent as much time as she does in nature, we'd probably be just as connected. We'd be like her. We'd be very comfortable to just go lay down in that grass for hours and not even be bothered, because we'll be one with nature.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I
No, I like being busy.
like luxury.
Well, what if you could have the luxury, but you could also be in the moment like the dog?
Oh, I guess then that is the dream.
Right?
To live in a Garden of Eden.
Like you still get luxury, but you don't have to worry about how to pay for it. It's just paid. You just have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to live in that world. In that reality. There are people who currently live in that reality.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but I hope one day it'll be a reality for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that's what heaven's supposed to be like. Where you're
Yeah.
stress-free, and allowed to live in the moment. You can meditate for as long as you want. You can indulge in whatever you want to indulge in. And there's just no stress.
No stress, it's fine.
So does that mean that there are rich people who are living in heaven currently? On earth? Heaven on earth?
It could be, or maybe those rich people have their own stresses. I don't know. Are humans able to live like that? Well, we can. Some people can.
Are human beings capable of living like that? Of course. They are. If you have the means to afford such a lifestyle, absolutely. But because we're part of the working class, it takes us, besides winning the lottery, we have to work hard to climb up that ladder.
Right.
We may never even get to that point where...
All the time.
Most people don't get to that point because the climb is steep.
I mean, I think we can get to a somewhat comfortable place, but... Is that how villains chill? Are they just really relaxed? Mm-hmm. Villains have no stress.
Because they're one.
Oh, okay.
They're at the top of the food chain. For that brief moment, you can chill. But you immediately have to put up your guard. Yeah, you have to keep your guard because someone is going to try to topple you.
Yeah.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Depends on who you are. Some of these Saudi princes, they live lives like...
Yeah.
They live a different world.
It's a totally different world.
Lavish, the highest level of ecstasy. There are human beings that live that way.
Yeah.
And these people are just human beings with our same flaws and our same worries, our same concerns, love, envy, anger, all those emotions the same. And they have everything that they need, all the power. The power to dispatch 2 private jets full of killers to go and kill someone.
Yeah.
Across the world.
That's crazy.
And then deny it. And nothing happens.
Nothing happens. They can literally do anything.
Yeah. Infinite power. And they spin it on the news to us minions, like, just shut up. Not this little kids on here. Tell them to shut up. I feel like that's how they treat us.
Yeah.
We don't have any power against them. We don't stand a chance.
No, we don't.
Especially individually. It'll require a united front. United is definitely something we are not, because over time the seeds of diversion and seeds of hate have been planted and sown in, and so it grew along in the fabric of this society, where there's divisions based on superficial things like your race, your gender, your religion. Those things have been sown into the fabric that for us to become united, it's almost like a camel walking through trying to fit through the eye of a needle. It's almost impossible to get 330 million people to agree.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. We might come close to it, after some bloodshed and war and fight. We might come a little close to it, but I don't think that it'll ever be even 50%. It will never get to that point.
I think it will. Not anytime soon, but I think it will.
It can't, because the die has already been cast. The realities are different. The class, I'm talking about this. There are people who are worth trillions of dollars, and there are people who are worth nothing in the same world. So it doesn't matter how fast technology advances or how society evolves. I think that gap is always going to be there. The gap between the haves and have-nots. rich and poor, the experts and the non-experts. That gap is always going to be there, because just like slavery evolved into modern day slavery, the ills of society evolve alongside with the good. They don't go away. It'd be foolish to think, to believe in a utopia where there's no evil or where there's no bad. But I think what happens even as technology, okay, we're proud of the fact that the internet exists and there's a lot more transparency, there's a lot more communication and sharing, peer-to-peer sharing on a global scale. That's what the internet has brought. And it's good because it's tearing down the borders. The borders that separate us as human beings. It's bringing us closer as one, because the closer we are to one, the closer we are to the source, and we're able to tap into that heaven. Okay. But the internet is not where it needs to be. It's not mature yet. There's still a lot of gaps, a lot of loopholes that allow these centralized forces that are against a united world population. You know what I mean? Like, those forces are able to still latch on through those loopholes in the internet to create wedges for that unity to happen. So the fight continues. It's a war between good and evil. It just continues. We come and we go. Human beings live and die. Another batch of human beings come and they live and die. And the war continues. I don't know how long it will take before that arc of moral justice bends closer. The arc of the moral universe. I don't know how long it'll take for it to bend closest or even closest to justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bending towards it, but it's not quite there yet. I don't know how long. It seems like it takes
a really long time.
A very long time. I'm talking about like decades.
Yeah.
For it to get to justice.
But human beings are still young. We're still a young species. So I think it will take a much longer time for us to get there, but we'll get there.
What do you mean we're young? Compared to what?
Well, how old do you think our species is? 12,000 years?
12,000 what? Years?
Yeah.
No.
How long?
Well, the Earth is 5 billion years. And there's been human beings on this Earth for as long as Earth has existed.
No, there hasn't.
I think so.
There hasn't.
We appeared here at some point.
Mm-hmm.
We just showed up.
I mean, yeah.
But it was. I think it's been as long. It's been that long.
Well, this batch of humans, or this batch of an intelligent species on Earth, has been around since around like the last 13,000 years. I mean, there have been other ancient civilizations, intelligent civilizations supposedly. If you know, like believe in Atlantis and other civilizations that happened before that and whatnot. But just ours, this one, we're still young. So we're getting there, and
getting where?
We're becoming a more intelligent species. We're evolving. And I think socially we are doing better. And eventually we'll get to a really, really good place. I don't know if it'll ever be I don't think it's possible for us to become perfect beings. But we're going to keep getting better.
I like to believe what you're saying, but I also know that human beings have a tendency to have a very narrow vision. We only see things from our own periphery, our own point of view.
That's because that's the only way it's possible.
I wonder if people in war-torn parts of Syria believe that we're evolving as human beings, or people who are hungry, even here in the United States, that have been affected by the pandemic and the economic crisis. I wonder if they agree with you. See what I'm saying? So this world is, it's wild to think that here in our own little cocoon, things are somewhat, in our own world, things are going well. Yeah. But I guarantee you that not even next door, just like down the street, somebody's world is hell.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true for a lot of people.
And we're here in the same world, in the same universe. So I can't tell you conclusively that this world is evolving for better.
Well, sometimes it takes like people to be pressured into finally waking up, into finally changing, seeing things in a different way. So I think that's kind of why a lot of these things are happening right now, like the pandemic and everything else that's going on. I think it's like the pendulum has to swing on one extreme for it to go completely the other way. And so for things to be really, really good, it has to go bad for a while. And it's pushing people in a direction where if you are naturally, inherently a good person, the good is really going to be pushed out of you. The good is going to be forced out of you.
Good and evil is subjective.
Yeah.
The definition of good and evil is subjective.
Or just good and bad. I mean, would you consider a pandemic good or bad? Probably bad.
Depending on what side of the fence you are, are you on the side of the perpetrators or are you on the side of the victims?
Who are the perpetrators?
The rumors that there's a lab in Wuhan.
So you're talking about conspiracy theories.
You can call it whatever you want.